Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy? Sports and Fitness Rants. I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today, as usual, man. You guys know the deal on this channel. It's all about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narratives, stopping them from rewriting history, guys. And in this video, I want to talk about Tyrese Haliburton briefly and how this man was voted most overrated by the NBA players, and he took it personal. This dude took it personal. That's what it looks like to me. Tyrese Haliburton is out there doing his best Michael Jordan impersonation, taking it personal, coming up clutch when it matters most, man. Leading and galvanizing his team, man, to an NBA Finals, and they're up 1-0. And I want to talk briefly about this guy, Haliburton, in this video. And I want to thank you guys, everyone across the world, everyone across the states has been supporting my channel. Once again, you guys know I am truly, truly humbled, man, by all support. It really means a lot, guys. Shout out to everybody in the membership, man. All the true basketball fans that comment on my videos, like, subscribe, share it. It means a lot, guys, for real, man. Like I said, you guys sharing your stories with me, you guys emailing me, sending me messages. It means a lot, guys. Thank you very much, man. I want to send a special thanks out to my man KK, who came through with the super thanks. Shout out to my man KK coming through again, man. Truly humbled me with the support, man. Thank you very much. And you guys know what to do. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, like I said, I wanted to talk briefly about Tyrese Haliburton, man. This will be a really brief video. Shout out to Tyrese Haliburton. I don't really know Tyrese Haliburton like that. You know, I've only seen a couple of his games. I haven't been watching him or following him all season. But I told you guys, man, Tyrese Haliburton is my dad's favorite player right now. I told you, my dad's rooting for Tyrese Haliburton. He's been rooting for them since the regular season. You know, he's been talking about Tyrese Haliburton all season, talking about him in the postseason. You know, we were having a good laugh in the Knicks series against the Pacers. And I tell him, how are you rooting for the Pacers, man? How are you rooting for this guy, Haliburton? And I told you that, you know, he said that he reminded him a little bit of my younger brother, and he likes his game, and he just likes the Pacers team, right? They got a bunch of, like, because the Pacers are kind of like a team where, like, yes, you have Tyrese Haliburton there, but they're almost like a sum of their parts, right? They're not like, you know, they have like a one like really great player and then like a bunch of good players around the really great player, right? Or a superstar level player and a bunch of role guys. They got a bunch of just good players on that team. You know, when you talk about guys like Siakam, you talk about, you know, the guys like Nembhard and Nesmith, you know, like I said, Haliburton. You got Miles Turner, who's been there for a while. You got some quality guys come off the bench like Toppin and T.J. McConnell. And you have guys like Mathurin. You had a bunch of young, athletic, long guys that hustle, man, on both sides of the ball. Guys that play with a lot of grit, a lot of heart. You're well coached by Rick Carlisle. Much respect to Rick Carlisle. And Tyrese Haliburton, like I said, who seems to have some really good leadership qualities to him. Like I said, I don't know him that well as far as watching his game over the last, you know, 2 or 3 seasons now. I believe he's only been in the NBA for like, this might be his 4th season. I want to believe it came to Indiana, I believe, in a trade with the Sacramento Kings. The Sacramento Kings are probably kicking themselves in the head for letting Tyrese Haliburton go. And, you know, similar to an SGA, you know, these guys developed over the last couple of years and they've turned into something. Tyrese Haliburton is a throwback kind of like to an old school traditional point guard, a pass first player. Now, I've knocked Tyrese Haliburton on this channel, not necessarily because of his game, but because of, you know, like I said, sometimes these guys, it's hard for me to get behind them when I'm watching Tyrese Haliburton dress the way that he dresses, coming to some of these games. And listen, man, people could do and wear whatever they want. I get all of that. No one's trying to knock people for expressing themselves, man, with their fashion or any of this stuff, their hair, whatever this stuff. I get it. I'm not knocking on one, man. To each his own. But it's hard for me to support someone like that when you guys are wearing some of these weird outfits, man. And I've seen Tyrese Haliburton wear some of these weird outfits, man. You can do whatever you want. It doesn't mean I have to support you, all right? And sometimes with these guys, I just can't get behind these outfits, man. Like I told you, even SGA, I've done videos on some of the outfits this guy wears. I can't get behind this stuff. They ain't personal with them, man. They can wear what they want, man, but it doesn't mean I have to root for these guys. But anyway, Tyrese Haliburton's a good dude. I got no problem with him. Like I said, I've just been a little bit weirded out by some of his outfits. But what I've realized and knows about Tyrese Haliburton, because I did not realize this, is that there was a vote done by what I'm heard by the players, and I know I'm late on this because this has been news. This is old news. But when I'm hearing about this, and then I look at the way he's performing on the court, I couldn't help but think about Michael Jordan taking things personal. I mean, they literally voted this dude the most overrated player in the NBA. Now, I don't know why they voted him the most overrated NBA player in the league. And I'm like I said, I don't know if this is 100% accurate. I'm pretty sure this is what I've heard though. How is Tyrese Harden? I was gonna say James Harden. How is Tyrese Haliburton the most overrated player in the NBA? To me, it's easily someone like James Harden. It's easily someone like Damian Lillard. These guys are easily the most overrated players. Ben Simmons isn't overrated. Like, to me, these are the most overrated players in the league. The fact that James Harden made an All-NBA team this year shows how overrated he is. James Harden ain't never led a team to a finals. Tyrese Haliburton just did this. He's done this. But he's overrated? They should have easily voted James Harden the most overrated player in the NBA. You could easily vote LeBron James the most overrated player in the NBA. Once again, Kenny Smith had his number 2 ranked coming into this league. That's not overrated? LeBron James making an All-NBA team. That's not overrated? Come on, man. I don't even believe Tyrese Haliburton even made an All-Star team this season. I could be off on that, but I don't believe he did. So, how is he overrated, but the man didn't even make an All-Star team this season, but he's overrated? How is he overrated? Because he's made multiple All-Star appearances? The dude's usually, I think like since he's become a full-time starter in the NBA, the man is literally like top 3 in assists every season. It's like him, Trae Young, and Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic. These are like the top assist guys over the last 3 seasons now. He's one of the top guys. I believe last year he led the league in assists. So he's a pass-first player on a young team that he's leading to an NBA Finals. James Harden ain't never done this. Damian Lillard ain't never done this. And these guys are supposed to be superstar level players, MVP candidates. Those guys are way more overrated than Tyrese Haliburton has ever been in his career, his young career. How is he overrated? He's only been in the league for 4 years. I don't know. That sounds to me as a bunch of hate. Them quote unquote hating on Tyrese Haliburton. You know, he's light-skinned dude. He seems to be a quieter kind of guy. But the way that he's playing in these playoffs, and I'm starting to watch more of him and see more of him, this dude is legit, man. And like I said, it's not necessarily just a game. It's what he's doing in the moments he's doing it in. He's already been more clutch than Damian Lillard could ever hope to be. And they call it Dame time. It's Dame time. Well, Dame time ain't never went to the NBA Finals. Tyrese Haliburton, he's the one. He's the one going to the finals. He's the one leading his team. How about James Harden? How clutch has James Harden been? Tyrese Haliburton seems way more clutch. He's been way more clutch. Just in this one postseason run alone, Tyrese Haliburton's been more clutch than James Harden, Damian Lillard could ever dream to be. Paul George. A lot of these guys could ever wish and dream to be. They've never been to the NBA Finals. But Tyrese Haliburton took his Indiana Pacers there in his 4th season, guys. So he gets voted the most overrated player by the players. This isn't by the fans. Because it was by the fans, and you could take it for whatever. You know what I'm saying? The fans sometimes are just the fans, right? Sometimes they're biased. They just hate on the guy. They're just clowning around. They're doing stupid stuff. We're the fans. Sometimes people get carried away when it's the fans, right? So sometimes something like that, it wouldn't be that serious. And I'm sure he wouldn't have taken it that serious if it was the fans, because the fans say what they want. You got to deal with that kind of stuff. But when the players, when your contemporaries are voting you the most overrated player, that's got to sting a little bit. Once again, we know these guys are professional athletes. They have a certain ego to them. They have a certain, level of attitude that they have to have, and, confidence that they have to have in themselves, belief in themselves. But at the same time, it's got to sting and hurt your confidence and hurt your feelings a little bit when your contemporaries are saying that you're overrated. Remember, Tyrese Haliburton wasn't even playing that much on the Olympic team. I don't even know how many minutes did Tyrese Haliburton play in the Olympics. Anybody know how many minutes Tyrese Haliburton played in the Olympics? He didn't play much. I want to say he was a bench warmer in the Olympics. And there's no knock on him for being a bench warmer. But think about the mental of a Tyrese Haliburton. You ride the bench during the Olympics. So that must take a toll on your ego, on your confidence level to think, hey, maybe I don't belong on this level with these guys on the Olympic roster, not the NBA. On the Olympic team, maybe I don't belong on the Olympic team with these guys. I'm not getting no burn. I'm not getting off the bench. And Tyrese Haliburton, by all accounts that I've heard and read, this man's attitude never wavered. His attitude remained the same. He stayed focused. He stayed ready. Never was a burden on the team. Never played the woe is me mentality. Never acted like, oh, how come I'm not getting no time? He just kept coming there to the team, to the practices, doing his thing, playing his role. So I respect him for doing that, because that can't be easy to do. So he had to deal with that in the Olympics, not really get much time, but then you get voted as the most overrated player. So you don't play in the Olympics, then you get voted the most overrated player. How does that make your mental feel? How do you feel about yourself? Tyrese Haliburton stayed focused, and he took it personal. That's what I'm getting from this dude. He took it personal like Michael Jordan, and he went out there in this postseason. He went out there this season. He led his team into the playoffs, right? Galvanized them in the postseason. Beat teams that people were not saying that they were going to beat, right? They beat down the Cleveland Cavaliers. Just beat them down. When a lot of people picking the Cleveland Cavaliers to beat the Pacers. And then they beat the New York Knicks, man. So once again, they're going on the road. They're beating these teams. And the way that they're beating these teams, Tyrese Haliburton just in this postseason alone, like I said, has hit bigger shots than guys like James Harden will ever hit, than guys like Damian Lillard have ever hit. And he's catapulted his team into an NBA Finals in only his 4th season, man. But he's overrated. So shout out to Tyrese Haliburton, man. I told you, my dad's favorite player, man. Much respect. Shout out to my dad, man. Like I said, I never even looked at Tyrese Haliburton like this. And now my dad forced me to look at this guy this postseason, to watch this guy and really understand, why my dad likes the Pacers and why he likes someone like Haliburton. I told you, man, I'm very fortunate to have someone like my father in my life. I told you he's the best man that I know. And I told you, man, when I was young, my father took us everywhere with him, man. That's how fortunate I was. A lot of fathers, they don't do this with their children. They don't take them places. They're not even there for them. Right? We've talked about it. That's why I will tell you I'm fortunate, man. Blessing to have someone like my dad around who gave a damn. Who gave a damn about his kids, man. Who stayed around. Who showed me what it takes to be a man. What it means to take care of your family. Take care of your kids. Make sacrifices. Be that dude. And I remember my dad, man, taking us always to the playground, man. And I watched my dad play these games against, my uncles and his friends. And I told you guys, I was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, man, watching my dad play basketball in the streets, man, playing in some of these gyms. And I told you, I don't remember what my dad's jump shot looked like. I don't remember my dad's handling ability. I don't remember if my dad had skills like that. I don't remember none of this stuff. You know what I remember? And I told you guys, what I remember from those moments, I remember the intensity of those guys. I remember hearing my dad's voice and the other guys' voices yelling. I remember hearing the sneakers squeaking, right? When they used to play in the gyms. I remember seeing the sweat off these guys. I remember hearing their bodies banging into each other. I remember hearing the grunts, and the guys jumping in the air. That's what I remember. The intensity that these guys played with. I felt it. That's what I remember as a kid, guys. So, years later, as I'm watching the game growing up, man, this is what I appreciate. The effort that these guys gave. Right? The way they went out there and competed. So when I played basketball, that's the way that I played the game. With the same level of intensity, with the same level of effort, with that love, man. Going out there and doing it, man. So once again, shout out to my dad, my uncles, his friends, the guys that I watched growing up playing the game, man, that showed me what it was about, man. Like I said, my dad is a Tyrese Haliburton fan. He's supporting Tyrese Haliburton. So you know what, man? I'm a root for Tyrese Haliburton and the Indiana Pacers, man. I'm not saying that they're going to win the championship, but I'm hoping they win. To me, I don't care who wins this, because to me, I think this is a win for the NBA regardless. You have a team like OKC, right, that, the Seattle Supersonics franchise, technically, man, they won championships in, 79? Right? And you talk about the Indiana Pacers. I don't believe they've ever won an NBA championship, the Indiana Pacers, not that I recall. So this is a great time for the NBA to have two of these franchises, two young teams that could be going at each other for years now. And like I said, they're led by two superstar players, two young players, SGA, Tyrese Haliburton, man. And Haliburton took it personal. SGA got all the hype in the regular season. Nikola Jokic has all the hype in the regular season. A lot of other players get more hype, right? Steph Curry's, the LeBron Jameses, right? The Anthony Edwards, right? These guys get more of the hype than a Tyrese Haliburton. But Tyrese Haliburton took it personal, man. And he went out there and started doing the Reggie Miller and just, like I said, just started knocking down stuff, man, and coming up with clutch plays and galvanizing his team, man. Leading them. You guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.